Hello, welcome to JavaScript course. In this section, we are going to learn about comments in JavaScript. Before we start writing code, let us go through some theories. What is JavaScript comment? Comment is used to explain JavaScript code for users to understand what the code is all about, but it is not the code itself. JavaScript comments can also be used to prevent execution when testing alternative code. Types of comments in JavaScript. Single line comments. Any text that begins with double forward slashes is a single line comment. A single line comment is a one-line information or text. Multi-line comments. Multi-line comments starts with forward slash plus asterisk and ends with asterisk plus forward slash. A multi-line comment is one or more lines information or text. If you are new to this channel, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell to get new video upload from us. Before we start writing code, let us create a new file. To create a new file in Visual Studio Code, click on the new file link, the file name. Here, let's name it app.js. Okay, so let's save this in the tutorial folder. I already created that, so in my drive C. So here is our file. So first, all right, let me increase the font of our code. I think this is better. So here, let us create a function that display a string on the console. So whatever string that is given is what we are going to display on the console. Console.log. Okay. The passed-in string. So right away, let us call the function, and first let us display hello world. All right, so I'm going to run this using node from the command line. cd, think I have my file in drive C. In tutorial folder. Okay, there we are. Okay, to run this code using node, so you just enter the word node, the file name app.js. So that is it. So now, like we understood from our theory, comments are used to describe our code, right? So here, for instance, for clarity, I may want to describe this code to other people that might be viewing this code, or in case I come later in the future to view this code, the name of the function may not be enough to remember what the function is doing, or other area of the code I wrote may not become clear to me because maybe I have written that code for a long time. So to always make people understand what you are doing in your code, you use a comment to describe the code. And remember, comments are not code themselves. What that means, the JavaScript engine does not execute comments. They are only there for you to understand what the code is all about. For instance, let me describe this function. So I can come here and say this function displays a given string. All right, so if I run this code again, node app.js, the same hello world displays, just like it was before I added this comment. So what this means is that this comment is not run by JavaScript engine. So let's note that. And again, notice the double forward slashes. Let me remove it, for instance. Let me save it first. Then node app.js to run this code. So we have errors. Reason being that this haven't removed the double forward slashes. It's no longer a comment, and JavaScript engine does not also understand it. So to create a comment in JavaScript, you must add the double forward slashes before the comment. All right, this is called a single line comment. Comments can be placed anywhere in your code. So for instance, this is a comment. Instead of having it here, this function display a given string, so I can equally have it here. All right, so this will still work just fine. And even here will work just fine. All right, so it can be anywhere in your code. Unlike your code, it does not execute. We majorly have two ways of writing comments in JavaScript, and they are multi-line and single line comment. So the single line comment is what I just showed. For instance, this function. So this can be anything. You are simply explaining what your code is all about. A string. All right, so this is single line comment. If you break this line into more than one line, just the way I have it here, you are going to have error, because this double forward slashes only cater for this single line. This other line is no longer going to be a comment. It's either you come here and also add double slashes to make this new line a comment, or use a multi-line comment. All right, so how do we write a multi-line comment? Okay, first, to write a multi-line comment, instead of a double forward slashes, you begin it by writing a forward slash, an asterisk, then any code between is going to be a comment, but you have to also close it using asterisk and a forward slash. So any code in between these symbols are comments. All right, so in our case here, I'll remove this. So now let us make these multiple lines comments. All right, I mean, this line and this line. Alright, so to do that is the forward slash and the asterisk. So where do you want where you want the comment to end, you say asterisk forward slash. So all of this is now a comment. All right, so let us run our code and see. First, let me clear this out. All right, node app js. All right, it works fine. So this is a multi-line comment, so it can also be anywhere in your code. Another very important use of comments is to test an alternative code. Let's create another function that displays display number. So this is another function that displays the number. All right, so let us also call this function and say display number. Let's say we want to display number 10. So let's run this node app.js. Okay, so this, we have two functions here, one that displays a string and another one that displays a number. So here we, after running it, we have hello world, which is the string we entered, and number 10, which is this number 10 we entered here. So what happens if we see this code in line number 11, we don't want to run it? All you need to do is to make it a comment. Right, so when I save that and run node app.js, what happens? Only the number 10 displays, because the display string function call is now a comment. Though is there, but because you have just made it a comment, it no longer runs. So what happens if we make both the comments? We can use our multi-line comments to comment both out. So here, right, so for the multiple lines, we've just commented out our code. So we can do this node app.js. all right, so it displays nothing. So one thing I also want you to note is we can also use a keyboard shortcut to comment and uncomment in Visual Studio Code. All right, what you need to do is highlight the code you want to comment and click on the Shift Alternate A to comment your code. And when the code is already commented, you can also click on the same thing, Shift Alternate A, to uncomment the code. All right, so this is it for comments.